Bonjour, y'all. It's me, back on my Danganronpa 2x2 bullshit. And remember how I talked about my predictions for Teruteru in my last video? Well, although I didn't state it specifically, he would either be a culprit in Chapter 3 or a victim in Chapter 4. Today we're going to talk about the main prediction I have in mind, and that is if he was a victim in Chapter 4. The specific motive being the vigil room. Just bear in mind that I made all of this with AI, so don't come at me. The setup for the motive goes like this. Monokuma announces a new quote-unquote experiment in ultimate endurance. One by one, students are forced to spend 24 hours in the vigil room, a sleep deprivation chamber designed to fracture the psyche. No one knows what happens inside. When they emerge, they changed. The mechanics of the motive are as follows. Each student must take a turn in the vigil room. They are monitored, kept awake, and subjected to psychological stimuli, distorted memories, hallucinations, and cryptic messages about their classmates. Upon exit, each student receives a, quote, memory injection that may or may not be real. Some are told that others plotted against them. Some are shown fake footage of betrayals. Paranoia blooms. Ooh, ah. Why do I sound like that? And then we have someone called the Wake Keeper. A masked figure, possibly Monokuma in disguise, appears during the vigil to recite twisted versions of the students' past traumas. Their voice echoes in the room even after they leave. Ooh. And then it goes into the psychological effects. Students begin to question what's real. Did someone really say they killed them? Was that memory planted? Is the person beside them still who they were? As the days pass, the effects of sleep deprivation linger. Microsleeps, hallucinations, emotion volatility. One student begins to believe they are still in the vigil room, even outside it. And a warped clock appears in the main area, its hands spinning erratically. Monokuma claims it's counting down to the moment someone snaps. And this all leads up to the murder. A student receives a memory that their best friend betrayed them during their vigil. Fueled by exhaustion and paranoia, they confront them, and the confrontation turns deadly. But the twist was, the memory was fake. The murder was based on a lie, but the killer believed it was real. And the trial theme is this. What is truth when memory is manipulated? The trial becomes a battle over perception, reality, and the ethics of psychological warfare. Alright, now we're getting to the juicy part. Teruteru being the Chapter 4 victim. Each student endures a sleepless 24-hour vigil, emerging altered, like they said. Teruteru, once comic relief, now shows signs of emotional erosion. His usual flirtations replaced by quiet humming, his cooking obsessive and erratic. He begins preparing a dish he calls the taste of home. He says it's for his mother. He says it's the only thing keeping him awake. Why would you do this to yourself? And thus begins his psychological descent. Teruteru begins seeing his classmates as ingredients, each with a flavor, a memory, a betrayal. He writes recipes in his notebook that read like confessions. He volunteers for a second round in the vigil room, claiming he needs just one more taste. When he emerges, he's pale, trembling, and clutching a sealed container. Why? He invites everyone to a meal. Only one person accepts. I don't even know why, but this is getting so deep. This is written by AI, by the way. I use Microsoft Copilot. Guess what we have to cover next? The murder scene. Oh, God. Teruteru was found dead in the kitchen, slumped over his prep station. The container is open. The dish is untouched. Here are the clues. A broken metronome ticking erratically. Surveillance footage showing someone entering the kitchen, but the timestamp is distorted. And a recipe titled, "To Remember Without Sleep." Oh, God. Is that a sign? Or am I thinking too deep? Okay, we're getting to the trial themes. Who killed Teruteru? Was it a classmate driven mad by the vigil room? Was it a mercy killing? Or was Teruteru trying to poison someone and got caught in his own trap? The trial hinges on unreliable memories. Everyone's perception is warped. Testimonies contradict. Surveillance footage glitches. And Teruteru's death is the first that feels personal. His longing for home, his fractured psyche, his final dish, all become symbols of what the killing game steals. Comfort, identity, and rest. Oh my God! And last but not least, we have the symbolism and legacy. The dish was later revealed to be a harmless stew. Simple, nostalgic, made from ingredients that reminded him of his mother. It wasn't a weapon. It was a goodbye. Oh my God. And the Wakekeeper's final words. He fed you memory. You gave him silence. Oh my God. The survivors begin leaving offerings in the kitchen. Sleep becomes sacred. Cooking becomes ritual. Teruteru, once mocked, becomes a symbol of emotional endurance. Wow. AI is something, dude.